Okay, so we have got GeorgeNotFound's second response to the allegations from Caitibugz. Obviously, this is the Minecraft YouTuber who was accused of he was cuddling with a girl, 18-year-old girl, while drunk for an extended period of time. He's 26. She was freshly 18, 5 months in. They were cuddling while drunk for about an hour, and after a while, he escalated by moving his hand onto her stomach and up towards her bra, at which point she stood up and got away, and he didn't advance anymore. They had a little bit of a flirt, which she turned down later on, and then they went their separate ways. A year later, she is taken to stream, outed him for this, and said that she felt sexually assaulted by it. I don't know if she called it sexual assault, but that's the vibe that we're getting from the public, and he's being called a sexual assaulter anyway, also a groomer, because she's 18. It's all very strange. It's all very strange stuff. Lots of children very upset. So we're going to watch his response here, because he's got now a second response. Obviously, first response, he contested a lot of her claims. She came back, contested some of his, reaffirmed that she felt like she was sexually assaulted. Then he came back, said he was sorry that she felt like that, was like, okay, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to think about my mistakes. And now he's back here with his latest video. So with that in mind, let's start watching this response video.
For those of you who don't know, Caitibugz recently did a stream and accused me of something very serious. I made a response and then she made a follow-up response. This is my response to her follow-up. Throughout this video, I'm going to be showing clips from some other people just for context. And just to make it clear, I don't want any hate to be sent to anyone, including these people. Here are the 2 tweets that I posted about this situation. These are now deleted as I only made them to let people know that I had intentions to make a response. And I didn't want people to think I was just completely radio silent in the time that I needed to make those responses. First of all, I just want to make it clear that my tweet that I put out after my first statement wasn't somehow admitting to guilt or completely backtracking on what I originally said. My perspective had changed.
Let's go. Okay.
Information that Katie had provided. So now I'm just going to go over Katie's new statement and talk
all
about
right.
what she
Okay.
had to say. So first, she acknowledges the texts that I showed about them talking about wanting to play the drinking games are real, but that they were from her friends. So this is reasonable. I only brought up that point because the implication was that it was kind of creepy of us and we were forcing the game on them.
There was more alcohol in the room, and we were encouraged to drink some more as they offered the bottles to us and insisted on drinking games, and, already drunk, I obviously complied.
In reality, it was mutually talked about, and everyone was just having fun. So next, she mentions that one of the reasons she wanted to hang out in our hotel...
Okay, he's going for the cross-examination strat, the full response video, debunking. This is huge. This is huge for white boys. This is huge. He's clawing his way back. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it goes.
Our room was because there was another creator that was in the room, but then that creator didn't actually end up being there. Again, reasonable. I didn't know this at the time. There were people in and out of our hotel room throughout the whole event, so she could have potentially heard of anyone being there. When her group was on the way to the hotel, she was messaging me, bantering about whether or not I would actually be there or not, and that made me think that she wanted me to be there. But I don't know, maybe she didn't care and she just wanted to see the other creator or just to be with her friends. Next, she shows our Instagram DMs, and she said that a reason she kept messaging me in a friendly way for a while after this whole thing happened was because, and this is a quote, she felt lucky to be talking to a verified account, someone famous, someone I had followed and watched for a while.
That's so crazy. It's just like, oh, I couldn't make any decisions for myself. I was groomed. He was a verified account. Come on. Be serious. Be fucking serious.
Now, this is not something that I was thinking about at all. I wasn't aware that she ever watched my content in the past. That was never brought up. This actually makes me feel pretty bad. The only reason she was messaging me was because I have subscribers or something. I would never want that. Again, the only reason I actually brought up us messaging after the fact was to show that we were still friendly afterwards and that I didn't know that she was uncomfortable at the time. She also confirms that we did talk on Snapchat, like I said, but also that nothing really happened there either. The next thing she talks about is the elevator. She said that we left at the same time and that her hotel room was on the other side of the hotel. So there was like kind of 2 corridors connected by an elevator room in the middle. So she's saying that she was just going past the elevator to get to her room. And again, this is totally reasonable. I brought this up because from her stream, the way that it was told kind of implied that I followed her out and then that she waited to take the next elevator instead of getting in with me while I tried to convince her to get in. I'll just play the clip of her saying this, so I'm not speaking for her.
I went to leave, and the older guy decided to leave with me. We walked to the elevators, where I didn't get on. He then pretended that the elevator was broken, and that he couldn't leave, telling me to get in the elevator to prove it was broken.
In my original video, I just wanted to clarify this, that we left together because the night was over and that she was on the same floor, so she didn't act.
Yeah, that's like a total misrepresentation of what the story says, or what the story is from both of their new accounts. Yeah, that's so retarded. Because she acts like she just didn't get in the elevator because she was trying to avoid this guy, trying to get away from this creep. But that's not the case at all. That's not the case. She didn't have to get on the elevator. Her room is on that floor. It's so retarded. That's such a ill misrepresentation.
Actually have to take the elevator, and it seems like she agrees with this now. So next she agrees with me that she didn't mention my online friend that I just
Glad she took time to put on some pixie aesthetic makeup. Wouldn't quite hit as hard if she hadn't.
met that day. She said she didn't mention him though because he left early and she didn't even know his name. And she shows a text message that she says is from him from the night where this happened, where he says this. Obviously this is implying that he was kind of uncomfortable with what was happening, and also that he knew her age despite just meeting her. And when I first saw this actually majorly changed my perspective on the night, because that would mean that my friend was also uncomfortable and somehow knew her age when I didn't.
It didn't say anything, just shit talked you behind your back.
My memory of it was actually that he was the last to leave, just before me and Katie left. Dream also came to me and mentioned that this changed his perspective of the night as well, because that would mean that he was essentially the only person that wasn't uncomfortable, and that therefore he should have known. This really concerned me. I kind of was just sitting there like really thinking how could this have happened. So I reached out to my friend to talk to him about it, and it turns out that he actually didn't send this message. I'm going to play a phone call that I had with him before I found this out, just because I think it gives more context.
What's up?
So there is a text that is claimed to be from you.
Yeah, I didn't send that text. I found out about it when you sent it to me. But yeah, no, that wasn't me. I don't know where they got that from. I didn't ask them for anything because they were phone numbers.
Fake evidence! Like, oh no! Oh no! Oh shit!
Can you kind of just talk me through your, like, anything that you remember from essentially the entire...
They were trying to kill this guy. They were trying to kill this guy.
I hit you up to hang out, and then
fucking demons, dude.
So you had an extra bed for your hotel. We got there around like 5 o'clock. We just went out to your room, like met up. I think it was towards like 9 or 10 o'clock. We met up at Dream Spot. Then it was just us three for a bit, and then you or Dream mentioned like just having some people come over and hang out. We were playing, I forget what the drinking was called. I think it was kind of like Cards Against Humanity, something similar to that. I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary. I didn't really notice any like bad vibes or anything like that. It was a little playful, maybe a little flirty. I noticed you guys were just kind of like playing with each other and just like kind of cuddled up a little bit on the couch. So I was just, it definitely didn't seem like she was like uncomfortable, you know? I don't know, it seemed like everybody that was there was having a good time, because I mean we were there pretty late, so I don't really follow like this internet stuff like that, so I'm not up to date with what's going on online. The way she was explaining everything, I mean, at least to me, like it was not like that at all. To me, it kind of seems like a misunderstanding. There wasn't really a thought in my mind that like, oh, this girl like could be in some sort of danger, or she's being like preyed on or anything like that. Because yeah, even though George is my friend, if I noticed him doing anything that I wouldn't want someone I'm friends with to do, then I would, you know, I either would say something about it or not be a part of that situation.
She says that you left early on in the night. Could you talk about that?
I think around like 3 or 3:30, I went to go get tacos. I think I got the party pack or something.
Yeah, early in the night.
I couldn't believe I actually went and got tacos. I know for a fact that I got the tacos like extremely late. Like I had to go in their drive-thru even though I was in a car. Like I had to walk through their drive-thru and like order through their speaker. That was fun. I know I left.
Yeah, it is over for this bitch. It is over for these Minecraft whores. It's done. It's done. Pack it in. Pack it in.
We're very close to that time, because right after 5, I texted Dream that I left.
Trust no bish, Ralph Mail.
Right after I left, I texted him that to let him know. think that was at like 5:10 a.m. Can generally say I had a really good night.
Never trust a
That's kind of the
bitch.
impression that I got from everybody else too. Is like everybody was having a good time. But
Fuck a whore. Fuck a whore.
You and Katie can
That's what he says, isn't it?
maybe, I don't know if be friends is the right word,
I don't
but
give a fuck.
I
Fuck a
hope she
whore.
feels better about it, because I feel bad that she feels this way, but I don't know.
Fuck a whore. Fuck a bitch.
Bad situation. It's just fucking wild that this whole situation came from that night. It was just mind-boggling, dude. I couldn't really believe it, half the shit I was hearing. As someone that was there, other ways that I've heard it being described, from what I was reading and watching online, is actually kind of insane.
So obviously after this conversation with him, I was pretty confused. Maybe it was a misunderstanding or something, because
I don't think you were confused at all. I don't think you were confused. I think you know exactly what's going on here, bro. But I understand you got to play this game.
Show this screenshot if it was fake, because I could disprove that pretty easily. So I had Dream reach out to get some clarification on it. So they replied back and essentially just said that it was an accident and that Katie had gotten confused on who said what. And I'm really not trying to nitpick anything here. I just really think it's important to make sure that everyone has the full picture of the whole event as it happened, so that people can accurately form their own opinion. Anyway, the next thing that she talks about is the cuddling.
Wait, what was an accident?
Because I could disprove that pretty easily. Obviously, they wouldn't just show this screenshot if it was fake, because So obviously, after this conversation with him, I was pretty confused. Maybe it was a misunderstanding or something, because obviously they wouldn't just show this screenshot if it was fake, because I could disprove that pretty easily. So I had Dream reach out to get some clarification on it. So they replied back and essentially just said that it was an accident and that Katie had gotten confused on who said what. And I'm really not trying to...
Confused on who said what? Huh? So someone else had sent that text? Is that what they're claiming? That they just misattributed it to the wrong person? And said it was George's own friend when it wasn't. It was one of theirs. Okay, dude.
Nitpick anything here. I just really think it's important to make sure that everyone has...
I'm not trying to nitpick anything. That's not a nitpick, dude.
So that people can
That's not a nitpick.
Form their own opinion. Anyway, the next thing that she talks about is the cuddling. She said, and this is a quote, "A lot of the touch was initiated by him, probably not realizing it. A lot of the cuddling he may have felt was personal, but it was just me being drunk. I do think a lot of the cuddling was initiated by me, but some of it wasn't. I was also drunk, but my impression at the time was that it was very mutual." She also says that, quote, "I didn't know cuddling was an invitation." I don't think just cuddling is an invitation for anything. I only brought the cuddling up because it's something that she didn't mention at all in her original stream.
We sat on the couch, and the older guy...
Yeah, he's fighting for his life right now.
It was a little after that, when I resorted to playing games on my phone when it happened.
And again, it's something that I think people need to know about to understand my perspective fully. The next thing that she talks about is that I said she got up and sat back down with me multiple times. She agreed with this, but said that the reason she did this is because, quote, "I didn't want someone I had watched for a while or with a large following to hate me for denying to even sit near him." Now this makes me feel terrible. It's something that she mentions throughout, this power imbalance, but this is not something at all that I was thinking about at the time. She was a VidCon invited guest. She had a hotel room on the same floor as Dream. She was friends with my friends.
They're both content
Honestly,
creators.
I never imagined that this is something
They're at a
that she could
party.
have thought. And I
They're
do
hanging
think
out.
That's my problem. I should have been aware of this.
No,
or at least
no,
the
no,
possibility of
no,
this
no,
being
no.
the case. And
What I mean-
am sorry. I feel terrible about it. I've never really...
No. I mean, I get he has to give some of this ground. But no, dude, come on. You're at a party, flirting with some beer, flirting with some hoa. Come on now. You didn't do anything wrong. She needs to learn to control herself and engage responsibly with men at parties. You didn't do anything wrong here. She was initiating, you were initiating, you escalated, she stopped it, you stopped, it was done. It was over. That's how an interaction like that should go. You did nothing wrong here. Fucking retarded. So dumb.
thought about power imbalance at all, to be honest. In that room, I wasn't thinking about, YouTube subscribers or fame or power or anything at all like that. I just saw us all as friends, hanging out, having fun. Again, I'm not trying to downplay this by saying this. It is genuinely something that I'm going to be thinking about going into the future. This comes up again later, and I'll have more to say then. Next, she talks about how I mentioned that she stayed for hours even after her best friend left. She says that her best friend left throwing up in her hand and that she didn't know she had left, that she didn't make the conscious decision to stay. Now, this isn't my recollection of what happened. I remember Ghosty getting up to leave and Katie getting up to say goodbye to her. I also asked Dream about this and he had the same recollection as me. We were drunk, so I can't 100% say for sure what actually happened, but as per my memory, she was aware that Ghosty had left.
That's
Also,
right, come
according
on.
to what she said, Katie
Ain't nobody
and Ghosty
buying
were
this
sharing the same hotel
Who's story
room
anymore.
together. So the obvious assumption is that
It's like, how can you give them the benefit of the doubt on anything when you know there is a piece of evidence that is at least completely misattributed in such a material way that it totally changes your
T
perception of
super
the story?
chatted $5 from T. The Minecraft tax must be paid. Only one gender can't consent when drinking. And power dynamics only matter when it's a man.
That's just facts. That's just facts. Thank you for the $5, T.
would probably leave together. The fact that she chose to stay, despite not really knowing most of the people there, gave me a pretty positive impression on how she felt about staying there. She says that after Ghosty left,
Yeah, no shit.
I put up with it in the moment because I thought it was the price I had to pay to be around such big creators. Again, like I said before, this is just not something I even thought she could be thinking, and I'm sorry that I didn't. Next, she talks about me being more touchy as the night went on, and says this, quote, "You didn't know me, apparently you didn't even know my age, but you knew what I wanted. No, he assumed it's what I wanted because why wouldn't I want that from someone like him?" This is absolutely not how I think about this kind of situation at all. I would never think like that, and honestly...
Really? You don't just go around assuming that every woman is consenting to you because you're a Minecraft YouTuber and you don't just go around just initiating sex on random women in the street? Really, George? That's not true? Really? Her portrayal's off there? Really? Oh my god.
Kind of an evil way to think about things. Just having the opinion that you can do anything because you're famous or whatever. And I never once remotely thought anything similar to that. And I feel terrible reading those words knowing that you think that about me. I would never think that I'm
No, they won't
anything
accept
from
this. No,
anyone
he's
just
dead.
because I have a YouTube channel, especially in an intimate context. Again, I'm really sorry for this, and it actually has been pretty eye-opening to me, and it's just not how I've ever really thought about stuff before. And I don't...
Oh, this is such cap. Come on, you know they were faking shit. You know they were faking shit, bro. You know they was lying on your name.
really think you're wrong for assuming that I thought like this, because obviously there are people out there that think like that and use that to take advantage of people. And it makes sense that if you think that about me, that you would hate me. But that is not who I am at all. And I just really hope that you can understand that. Now, another thing that she mentioned that changed my perspective on things was that she showed texts from 2 of her friends the day after, checking up on her to see how she felt. She says, quote, "In the moment I was chilling, but thinking back on it, I'm sweating a little bit like, damn. I also don't know if I was chilling in the moment because I was drunk." And this is something that I was actually completely unaware of. I wasn't aware of any uncomfortableness in the moment, after the fact, or even after Katie's first stream. I just wasn't aware that anyone had expressed discomfort until I saw these texts. I actually had the opposite impression just because we were all really friendly afterwards still. Dream actually had a conversation about this with almost everyone that was in that room a few months later. One of their friends had actually tweeted about Dream, saying that he was inviting an 18-year-old girl back to his hotel to drink at VidCon, and was implying very negative things about Dream being a predator. So Dream realized this could have only been about Katie, because it was a pretty specific call out, but thought that it was just being purposefully misleading from someone that hated him. Dream actually had no idea as well that anyone was uncomfortable and assumed that this tweet was implying Katie was uncomfortable with Dream. He reached out to Ghosty about it.
Why is he saying, "I'm sorry I was successful when you couldn't control yourself around me"? WTF needs to stop with the sorries. Yeah, like that. When you know that they've lied about evidence, it's past the point now. At some point, you got to just say, "No, listen, this little hooer is lying on my name. This is bullshit. I'm being fucking raped for nothing. I did nothing wrong. This was just a party. She needs to get over it." There comes a time where you have to just fucking say it. It's way past that point. They're gonna kill him either way.
Was implying very negative things about Dream being a predator. So Dream realized this could have only been about Katie, because it was a pretty specific call out, but thought that it was just being purposefully misleading from someone that hated him. Dream actually had no idea as well that anyone was uncomfortable and assumed that this tweet was implying Katie was uncomfortable with Dream. He reached out to Ghosty about it, asking what this was even about, and
But Katie implying I'm a pedo or trying to hook up with her, like, what? It wasn't like that at all. Holy fuck, that's insane. You guys only came because I invited Blank, and she asked if you guys could come, and I said sure. I didn't know anything about you guys, nor was I trying to have sex with Katie, lol. Katie never once implied you tried to get with her either. Like, Katie is cool, I enjoyed hanging out with her. I'd like to be her friend, but that's just because of her personality, and not because I'm trying to have sex with her, lol. Invited an 18-year-old to your hotel to have drinks is so
others, including Katie.
disingenuous.
I'm not going to be showing Katie.
No, 100%. I totally get that situation is pretty crazy. I don't think Katie is going to be the happiest to hear that Harry did this. I didn't invite her, Blank did. I didn't know she was 18 either, and it was only my hotel because it was big. It was the hub for everyone to hang.
With Dream, because at the time Dream had told her that.
Yeah, she replied to me, wrong reaction. Sorry, I don't think Katie's too happy with this. I'm sorry this is happening.
Her messages and conversation would not leave the text.
I won't share exactly what she said because I told her I wouldn't share her reply, even though we're your besties. It was kind of weird reply, IMO. She didn't reply like you and Blank being like, yeah, you did nothing wrong, Lamau. She replied saying she didn't tell Harry, but avoided being like, yeah, no, it's weird he said that. I assume it's just out of anxiety and she's afraid of losing friends or something. Definitely, especially because Katie really does really care for those guys over there because they're super close to her. But I don't think she's the most happy right now. Yeah, I mean, she's in a tough spot now, though, because of him, which is stupid because he said it. And even though he deleted it, it's out there.
However, here is Dream and Ghost.
He, like, fully made it seem so much worse than it actually was. Katie said she didn't even tell them the entire situation, that he just made seem shit like that for drama. Shit seemed like that for drama. It's honestly so crazy that he even tweeted it without consulting Katie first. Yeah, it's insane. In a different world, if something bad had happened, like him not even asking Katie about it is crazy. Like, love that guy, but that's fucking insane.
Conversation about it. I was
so
never
disrespectful. Literally, it's worse than nothing because it shows absolutely nothing.
Or mentioned at all.
Like, bro, Harry is an idiot, and now people praising him for respecting victims. My ass.
And also, when Dream makes fun of Harry for being ridiculous and making stuff up because nothing happened and we were all still friends, she said, exactly. She actually spoke about this on her stream very recently, and I don't want to speak for her, so I'm going to play the clip where she clarifies these messages.
The only time that we had a conversation about anything that had to do with that night was obviously when the stuff with Harry happened. And he texted me asking if it seemed like anything had happened. And I, at the time, said no, because the conversation was not about George. The conversation was about him. And it was about the underage drinking. And it wasn't ever about
oh my God,
whether or not Katie, you know, it was always just about him and not George, which is why I said, dude, no, nothing seemed wrong because he wasn't doing anything wrong. And I can stand by that.
Dude, that's so, oh my God, these people are horrific manipulators. This is cryptid behavior. Demonic. They're speaking in tongues. Well, I was specifically talking about Dream. Actually, I was specifically talking about Dream. I wasn't talking about George at all. So when I said that nothing weird at all happened on that night, I was actually specifically talking about Dream. So actually, I can stand by that statement completely and defend that. And I wasn't doing anything wrong ever. You lying whore. You lying fucking whore. You are speaking in tongues. You are manipulating. Your reptilian forked tongue is flickering in the wind. I can see your skin suit flickering. Disgusting. Disgusting.
That. I will stand by that comment, and I said that in one of my posts that, you know, like it wasn't him. That was our conversation. It was never about George. It was about him and the Harry situation. And it was about me. At the time had seemed that Dream was one who had taken advantage of Katie, and I said he didn't. And I didn't lie.
And Ghosty, I'm really
I didn't lie.
Your words.
Bruh, I have never heard a more guilty statement. I didn't lie. Whoa. Dude, I'm seeing red. I'm seeing red.
Against Katie or you. I'm just trying to paint an accurate picture of our perspective of the night. And to do that, I kind of have to talk about everything that we knew. I don't think your words negate at all how Katie felt, of course, but they did affect how I perceived the situation afterwards. Even after Katie's stream, this kind of confused us, and Dream especially, because he thought that this would have come up in these conversations. Now, he was he was so confused that he was convinced that Harry was essentially being malicious. And he said this, and Ghosty and others there agreed with him. Ghosty even said that her friends should get to know him because she and Katie had actually had pretty negative opinions of Dream before meeting him, but had their minds changed after meeting him at VidCon. This is obviously said about Dream and not me, but Dream looked at this as positive about the entire experience and shared this with me. It seems like Ghosty has changed her mind about this now, but I just think it's really relevant to how we felt about the situation as a whole.
We do a little
And
mind
just show it to you
changing.
guys. Honestly, over the last
Sorry,
few
woman. Let me run that
had-
back. I didn't quite hear
and
that.
Ghosty would have come up in these conversations. Now, he was so confused that he was convinced that Harry was essentially being malicious. And he said this, and Ghosty and others there agreed with him. Ghosty even said that her friends should get to know him because she and Katie had actually had pretty negative opinions of Dream before meeting him, but had their minds changed after meeting him at VidCon. This is obviously said about Dream and not me, but Dream looked at this as positive about the entire experience and shared this with me. It seems like Ghosty has changed her mind about this now, but I just think it's really relevant to how we felt about the situation as a whole and to show this to you guys. Honestly, over the last year or so, anytime a creator has kind of distanced themselves from me, I just assumed it was because of Dream. Dream had false grooming allegations against him, and I assumed that because of this and my association with Dream, people didn't like me. After Dream posted his video disproving these allegations,
Guys,
honestly
Dream
thought
SMP
equally
is
of
truly the
creators
most
that were
persecuted
still
race.
negative to me, as now I thought there was literally no reason for it. And now, after seeing Katie's follow-up, I realized that probably everyone knew about this behind the scenes. And I think that is insane. I was walking around with these people at other events or interacted with them in any way, and all the time they were just thinking terribly about me. And I didn't even know, and neither did any of my friends. If I'd seen Katie in person, I would have gone up to her normally. I would have assumed we were still friends. I think this is a massive injustice to Katie. It actually kind of makes me rethink a lot of my experiences with other creators. Just looking back on them
man.
with this new information.
When you find
I don't
out
even know
everyone
who
thought
these
you were
people
a
are.
rapist
And
for
even
the whole last
right
year.
now, after all
Amazing.
this
I love
information
it.
is public and out there, I still haven't had a single private conversation with anyone who knew about it prior to Katie's stream. This is all just to say that I didn't have any idea that there was a problem, and I wish that I had, and I should have. The last thing to mention is her age. Like I said, I wasn't aware at the time that she was 18. I mentioned that they had come from an official VidCon after party, they were drunk, and I made the assumption that, knowing how these events are run, that she was probably over the age of 21, as they wouldn't have been able to drink in there otherwise. Now, they actually said that they drank somewhere else briefly before showing up, and that makes more sense. It is irresponsible of me that I made this assumption, and going forward, I will make sure to explicitly ask for a person's age. And I'm sorry, Katie, that I did not do that for you. I also brought up how when I was going back through the texts, I found a picture of one
But
of them.
here's the thing, though, right? Wait, so you would have cut it off if you knew she was 18? But 18 is what you were looking for. But you want them to be, isn't that what you're like 18 or over? That's the rule. That's what you're going for. I don't. What are we doing here? What are we doing? But not if it's bullshit to feel like they can't drink because they're under 21. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. Everyone drinks when they're underage. Everyone drinks at VidCon, apparently, when they're underage, according to everyone that I've spoken to about it. But you didn't. You were a loser then. I don't know what to tell you. You were just that you didn't grow up normally. That's just the facts. I started drinking when I was 15. I get most Americans probably don't start that early, but they do start before 21, that's for sure.
Plus age wristband. And I showed this picture. Now, this is from a group chat that I wasn't in, but Dream showed me this when I was making my video, and I figured it was relevant to why I was under the impression she wasn't 18. It is now mentioned that Katie wasn't actually the one that was wearing it, and it was just someone else's hand. So in these texts, they say, this is a quote, "Loose-ass 21 plus wristband. We have a strat." Now, to explain what this strategy is for the people that haven't really been in a club environment or a place where you would get a wristband.
Is he completely
like
caving? No. If you're not retarded, he's like totally proven his innocence, but Minecraft YouTubers are still going to rape him, so.
Essentially, they give you this wristband to show that you are over 21 so that you can get drinks from the bar. These wristbands are made in a way so that once they're put on, they cannot be taken off without breaking it. And that's precisely why they're used, to prevent people from underage drinking. But clearly the security that gave the girls these bracelets didn't do a good enough job and didn't put it on tight enough. And this just shows that you can never be too careful and shouldn't make assumptions like I did. And I should have asked for her age. And I am sorry that I did not. This is not a mistake that I will make again. From Katie's statement, it kind of seems like she didn't believe that I didn't know she was 18 and kind of thinks I'm just being dishonest about it. She said that she had it in her bio and that I DM'd her, so she was very confident that I knew.
Later that night, when I left, I received Instagram DMs from him. And in my Instagram bio, in bold, was my age, 18, confirming he knew how old I was.
For context, as you can see here in this screenshot, her age is actually in her display name on Instagram. And because of this, I was also pretty confused how I didn't know that she was 18. As it's literally in her name, not even in her bio. It's in her name. If it was in her bio, it would make sense to me because I could totally see myself going to her profile the first time I wanted to message her and just clicking message and never really going back to her profile. And essentially just any time I interact with her was just through the direct DMs where you actually can't see someone's bio. So I actually completely see where she was coming from, and it does seem kind of ridiculous that I didn't know. So because of all this, I actually started to look into this quite a lot because I know that I'm not stupid and must have seen it. But also in my head, I know that I didn't know her age, so it conflicts. So today I actually found out there are two different types of professional Instagram account. There's a creator account and a business account. And
okay.
For some reason, Katie's account was a business account instead of a creator account. We actually joked about this at the time through our DMs because I was actually able to book her as a business, and I didn't really know why I was able to do that. And weirdly enough, it actually turns out that business accounts don't display special characters from a username in the username that's displayed. And if you don't know what I mean by special characters, basically just a character that isn't something you can type on a normal keyboard. And because her age and the smiley is a special character, it literally just didn't display it in her username at all. And you can actually see this in a picture that I sent to her during our messages.
Shit.
Her age is not displayed in her name. And you can also see this in the screenshot from the previous video, that her age also isn't visible, despite the fact that her age was in her name at this time. But now actually, as of today, her account isn't a business account anymore, so her age shows up again. And this is a screenshot I took. Obviously, this wasn't a feature that I knew about at the time.
Dude!
I had to do quite a bit of research today to work that out. So I hope that could kind of clear that up a little bit, and that maybe you can see how...
Yeah, he didn't rape her then, but he has now.
Wouldn't have seen it. I actually do think that the age difference between me and Katie was a pretty big factor. I am older than her, and based on what she said, I do have more experience than her. She never went into the exact specifics either, so out of respect for Katie, I've chosen not to give any more details than she did, to make sure that I'm not airing out any information that she's not comfortable with being known. But I have clarified that the furthest things went was under the shirt touching. She did say that the level of intimacy that we had together was the furthest that she'd experienced, but to me, it was quite tame. And when I say this, I am not trying to devalue how she feels about this at all. I'm just trying to point out that we clearly viewed things differently. And this is something that I have learned from now, and I will be taking very seriously moving forward. And I am truly sorry, Katie, for not realizing this and not taking this difference.
Dude, he won.
It is clearly something that is extremely important to you, and I'm sorry. Even after everything I've just said, things would be very different if I could just say that I had asked her if she was comfortable and she had said yes. But the fact is, I never did ask this. As I mentioned, there were a lot of things that she said she thought that I wasn't aware of, that if I had known, would have changed a lot. And going forward, this will be something that I take into account in every interaction I have with anyone, sexual or not. I am sorry, Katie, and I am sorry for how this will affect you going forward. And
right. Sorry for how what will affect you going forward? The first rape or the second?
Everything got to this point, but I just hope that after hearing my perspective, you can understand that I never had any bad intentions and never meant to hurt you. I think that is essentially all the information that I can add to the situation. After her first
he must be stopped. He can't keep getting away with this.
With how things were portrayed, and was pretty confused by a lot of the details. But her most recent response made things a lot clearer to me, And now I do think we agree pretty much on the order of events. We just don't necessarily agree on my intentions, but again, I do really hope that her seeing this can help with that. There are actually a couple of other things that I wanted to mention before I end this video that are not at all as important as anything else I've said before this, but this seems like the right time to address other concerns that people have had. First thing that I want to talk about is a comment that I made about Punz's girlfriend at the time.
Yo, thank you. I might have to skip these. Yeah, there's quite a few. Thank you, everyone. If your name pops up on screen, huge thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Andy. I was in a call with Punz and Andy was in the shower, and it was known that we could hear Andy as we had brought it up previously within the call. She was talking very sexually with Punz, essentially complaining that Punz wasn't leaving the call to go have sex with her in the shower. I don't remember the exact quote that I said, but this is what Andy quotes me saying. If you don't go in the shower and have sex with Andy, I will. I do remember saying something along these lines, essentially saying, come on, Punz, go have sex with your girlfriend who's begging you to go have sex with her in the shower, or someone else will. But I do understand how this could be disrespectful, and that was not my intention.
Dude, he won though. Wait, what? That's based. That was so based. Dude, what the fuck? Oh man.
Knowing how she felt after the fact, I do feel bad, and I am sorry to both Punz and Andy for this comment. My friends, including Punz, we often say ridiculous things, and that's just our type of banter. If anyone ever said something to me about me making them uncomfortable, I would obviously do my best to try.
Ridiculous, wacky things like,
But
I'm
Andy
gonna fuck
wasn't
your
really one of my
girlfriend.
friends, so it makes more sense that she doesn't really know that's the type of way that I joke around, and I hope that she understands that I didn't mean any harm by it. Finally, something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a long time, but have never done, is the Technoblade charity stream situation. People were upset that I was playing sound.
I don't know anything about this. Apparently, he was like a bit of a diva about Technoblade's charity thing. That's what the claim is.
Is the Technoblade charity stream situation. People were upset that I was playing soundboards during the beginning of the stream. For context, this event wasn't intended to be serious.
Stop playing soundboards during the Memorial charity stream for the guy who died of cancer.
Or sad.
Oh shit!
It was a for fun event and to
Oh,
celebrate
shit.
the memory of Technoblade. A narrative that was massively spread was that I played this soundboard during Technodad's speech. But that actually was not the case, and I had completed
Stop playing soundboard during the dead kid's dad's speech. Oh shit! On the 7th of August, 2021, my son sadly passed away. Oh shit!
a time where all the creators were in a call just talking to each other before the speech had even started. I actually called Technodad a few days after the event because I wanted to make sure that he wasn't upset or uncomfortable with anything I had said,
Pipes
and we
clanking.
discussed it all. He told me that he didn't have a problem with what I did and that the public reaction was actually pretty crazy to him.
Okay,
And he
cool.
invited me to the next year's event. Another thing that people criticize me for is that I didn't donate to the charity. But again, this actually isn't the case. I donated
Based.
$2,000 to the charity after the event, but I did do it anonymously, so obviously I'm not surprised at all
Winner.
that people don't know this. I donated anonymously because I just didn't really want to make it about me.
He won.
and Just
He won.
donated because
I mean, he
wanted
won.
to. Obviously, there was no actual requirement for the creators in the event to donate to the charity at all, and them just streaming to their audience and incentivizing the viewers to donate.
Winner
enough.
do as
Now,
one
I
who
did this
does.
specifically by showing the donations live as they came through on my stream. And because of me doing this, over 2% of the donations actually contained my name within the
Dude, he is
donation.
so swagged
So I
out.
think it's pretty unfair to come at me for not donating to the charity when I was clearly making a big effort to get my viewers to donate. And beside that, I did donate $2,000. I just wanted to mention this. I know it's kind of way off topic compared to the other two things that I've mentioned in this video, but it is something that has been constantly brought up since it happened as a way of showing that I'm a bad person. So I wanted to clear that up. And that's pretty much everything I have to say. So I hope you can understand. And yeah, bye.
He built Diffie. He kind of Diffie with it. He kind of Diffie. Pretty boy models, we up, it's litty, yeah. He kind of Diffie with it. He kind of Diffie with it. Damn. What a crazy response. So look at the quote tweets of George's response here. You still touched her inappropriately without consent and admitted to it. So I'm not understanding why you're rolling out extra clarifications for shit you already covered. No amount of, oh, I didn't know, I wasn't aware, would change the fact that you admitted she was drunk and you put your hand up her shirt without consent. There is nothing else to address, and no amount of pushing the miscommunication narrative will change it. Haha. Dude, this one's amazing. Look at this. Look at this reasonable engagement with the topic. This is awesome. What is it with women and violent fantasies? What's going on there? She replies to it as well. PQRT, private quote retweet, I assume it is. If you disagree with me, you also deserve one in the head for supporting SA. Okay. So detached from reality? Just a little. It's just a miscommunication. He put his hand up her shirt without looking for any verbal consent whatsoever. As a 26-year-old man. This is not miscommunication. This is a blatant disregard for morals. Is it okay if I touch you? Is it okay if I touch you, ma'am? Is it okay if I touch you, ma'am? Is that okay? Are you okay with that? This is, by all means, sexual contact that should never happened. This is not miscommunication. This is not regret. This isn't just feelings. He knowingly put his hand where he wasn't supposed to without consent. I didn't know. I had no idea. None of that excuses the fact that you touched her sexually without asking. Flirting, playfulness, laughing or giggling is not consent. It doesn't matter what your intentions were. You sexually assaulted her. These are not trolls. I don't know what to tell you. This is just like retards. Oh, this woman's got her own abuse story pinned on her Twitter. Cool. Well, let's have a look at your abuse story. I've dealt with a lot of emotional abuse growing up, especially by my mother. She took a lot of her anger out on me as a kid, and I lived most of my childhood in fear. She wouldn't harm me physically, but she would threaten to hurt me if I didn't listen to her, if I talked back, or if I was disrespectful. My father, while technically being the nice one, didn't stop her, and actually sometimes made the situation worse. I was hit in the face when I was younger. If my mother and I were having an argument, she would hold her hand over my mouth and nose and tell me to shut up. I couldn't breathe when she did this. Well, I told my mother, she told me I could breathe fine and stop it. Stop. I'm trying not to make jokes. I'm really, because it might be serious. I try not to make George Floyd jokes. I'm trying not to look. I'm trying not to say everyone was right. She also liked to tell me when I was crying to save my drama for being an actress because she wasn't fooled by it. My mother said a lot of horrible things to me. She excused me because I had an attitude. This is just like such minor, like, my mother was kind of shitty to me sometimes. And you're twit-longering your mum over it. It got to the point where I barely considered her my mother anymore. She would gaslight me a lot. Whenever I called her out on something, she would make everything out seem like it was my fault or that I was crazy. She actually said to me once that I should be in a mental hospital because I was scared of her hitting me. I still talk with my mother, and I still live with both my parents. Things have gotten better, but my parents still won't address what they've done or apologize for it. Yeah, because it's stressful raising a kid. They're not gonna fucking sit there and flagellate themselves for stressful fucking lashing outs that happened while they were trying to raise you and you were being a shithead child. Come on. My mother and I've had long conversations about my childhood, and I get convinced she understands what I went through. Then she says something about it or makes a joke about it, usually at my expense. I realise both my parents still don't understand how they hurt me, and I think I was just justifying it because they were going through stuff too. They think since they've gone through much worse than me, that I have no right to feel the way I do, or that I should simply get over it. I'm sharing this because I want to show that abuse doesn't look the same. Sometimes you don't realise what you went through was abuse until you get older and realise shit wasn't normal. I admire Shelby for continuing to talk about what she went through. Is this about Shovel? Okay, the mom being physical with the kid is abusive. It should be the dad. Builds up a warped sense of the world, doesn't it? I assume Ben. It should be the men being violent. Strong women fuck a kid up. This is sort of what you're getting at, isn't it? I feel like I know the script. Oh, look, another hinged response here. Reasonable response to the situation. Doing great on Minecraft YouTube. Oh, this one's amazing. This one's amazing. Oh, this one's beautiful. I love this. I love this. I don't know how anyone over the age of like 20 can be like, yeah, I want to be with an 18-year-old. Like, that's a teenager, you freak. It's a 21-year-old, by the way, posting this. No, this is a girl, I think. Girl fail digital. Jujutsu Kaisen stuff on the profile. That's probably a girl, right? I'm seeing Jujutsu Kaisen posts about wanting to kill themselves. Yeah, I think this is a woman. Posts about comparing Dream to Gojo. Yeah, I think this is a female. Yeah, it's a Fujoshi. Yeah. Personally, I'm very suspicious of men who aren't attracted to 30-year-old bitter Swifties. Fuck off. She was drunk. You didn't ask for consent, which she couldn't have given anyway, and you touched her. This isn't some miscommunication bullshit, because she never indicated that she wanted that at all. I can't believe you're still at this. Go fuck yourself. No tickling. No tickling. Finger wag. No tickling. No tickling, finger wag. So crazy. Like, she was drunk, yeah? So was he. People fuck while drunk all the time. This is like means nothing if she's not so drunk that her faculties or decision making are significantly impaired. More than his as well. You didn't ask for consent. Yeah, true. I mean, you don't need to ask for consent for every escalation and interaction. Sometimes you look for non-verbal cues. And you touched her. Yep, true, he did. This isn't some miscommunication bullshit. It is miscommunication. I mean, I don't even think it's miscommunication. I think she communicated perfectly and changed her mind after the fact. It's not even miscommunication. She just changed her mind. She never indicated to you that she wanted that at all. Yes, she did. She was sitting there giggling, laughing, turning around, initiating stuff with him. That is indication. Okay. Bro, the fact you admitted she was drunk and you touched her is enough. I don't give a fuck about anything else you have to say. Shut the fuck up. God damn. They follow that up. I'm seriously so tired of it. Stop trying to back yourself up when all you've done the whole time is fake apologize and act like the victim. It's fucking pathetic and embarrassing. Go do something else. Move back to the UK. Sell your dad's nudes for ends. For ends meet. I don't fucking know. Just shut up. This is another woman. Oh. Let me. Okay. This is a strange individual. Let's have a look at this individual. So what's going on here? He. Sorry, I misgendered. He, 19, mixed, black and white. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Oh, we can't even go down the timeline on here. It's just like, it's crazy to put he in your bio and then have like the most feminine presenting, like thirst trapping pictures immediately on your profile. Like, what are you trying to present here? Starting to feel like a Tom Straight. Oh yeah, true. I'm on my other browser. I should probably close that off, shouldn't I? It's called drag. Get over it. It's not drag. It's not drag. It's not drag. It's not. Being a cis woman and putting he in your bio is not drag. That's not someone in drag. That is not drag. I didn't say James was you're clocking them wrong. I'm literally just not. Like, we can do the inspection here. I can literally transvestigate for you live. But they're at a party. It seems like at a house party, not at some big event. They're 19 and there's a freckle on the tit. I'm just saying. This is not someone in drag. This is a cis woman who uses he, him pronouns. Poster chat. Okay, Deeper Armor is going, listen, this is the most compelling evidence you'll ever get. I'm sorry. This is a woman. I'm sorry. This is a teenage girl. This is a 19-year-old. This is a 19-year-old girl. I know what. You're just simply not convincing me otherwise. I've got Shinigami eyes. I'm telling you. I can tell. I'm sorry. It's done. It's done. Gaslighting you about not being blind, literally. Yeah. It's because Melanie's delusional and thinks we can't tell. But that's okay. So, yeah, that's done with. That's done with. Should we look at any more of these Twitter responses? Oh, this is a cool one. I like this one. It's not drag, autistic women just look like her. Facts. Actually spitting. We don't give a fuck. None of this shit matters when you were 26 and she was 18 and you didn't bother asking, you fucking weirdo freak. 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 Classic.